But I don't think that has to be in everybody's face every 30 minutes. News alert, breaking news.
No.
I don't think we are as divided
We're not.
as the media makes it out to be.
That's true, too.
I don't think we're that divided. I think if you go talk to people throughout America, I don't think they feel nearly as alienated from their counterparts as everybody makes it out.
So how do we marginalize both fringes? How do we make them the bad guys, which they kind of are?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And that's what I'm saying about this 70% in America. They need to stand up and speak up. And you know Frank Luntz, right?
Sure. Frank Luntz, the pollster, yes, he actually hung around our show for, well, that was like 20 years ago, but yeah, I like Frank.
I was at his house one night. We had students there from USC, Democrats and Republicans, that were really hostile students. And they had gotten into some real problems on their websites and were name called, really some bad blood between them. And we spent about 3 hours with him one night at his house, kind of facing off at each other. And I got them to do an exercise one night where they had to stand up and face each other, face to face, couldn't say anything for a long time, just had to look each other in the eye. And I really encouraged them to make eye contact and regard the other person as a human being and ask themselves, wonder what this person went through today, wonder if their mom is healthy, wonder if they've had a loss in their family, wonder if they have a pet, wonder if they're struggling in their classes,
wonder if they're holding.
May nature
anything.
guide your path.
Just regard them as a human being.
That's what I'd add.
And,
nature stands with
and then I had him answer a couple of questions, and then had him circulate through the room and do it over and over again, and then have him sit back down. And this took about 5 minutes. And the change in the room, it's online, you can take a look at it, was astounding. Where they said, you know what, I really am embarrassed that I haven't really thought about that person as a human being. I thought about him as a Republican, I thought about him as a Democrat. And when I stood before him and looked at him, I realized they're just like me. They're just trying to figure this out and get through it. And you know, we really have stopped thinking about each other as human beings. And if you just take time to think about that and say, you know, they're just like me. And if every time I negotiate with somebody, or each negotiation in law enforcement or military or whatever, I always say the first thing you have to do is sit down and say, before we start, let's talk about everything we agree on. Let's just get a good list of everything that we can agree we both want. And by the time you get through that list, it's like you took the air out of it. Because we do want an awful lot of the same thing.
But I've seen you with some people
greetings,
who
friend.
I wouldn't agree with anything on.
Nature
I
stands
saw you
with
with
you.
some young black man who believes he's a cyborg from the future. I don't agree with that.
That's pathology. That's pathology. I mean, that's a psychiatric disorder.
But that's a sliding scale. I mean, we're all a little crazy, right? Wouldn't you agree? We're all a little crazy?
Well, all human functions on a continuum, and we dip into the...
Okay. So I'm not a cyborg from the future. I think there are them. But, you know, there are things probably, I believe, that any human you sat me in front of would think something I think of. You know, it could be a thing about health. Could be like what I eat. They think, well, that's what you eat, because it's not like normal food. Then I'm the crazy person. You see what I'm saying? That we're all
How might nature
sort of crazy in other people's eyes.
Yeah, but do you not think that you could sit down in front of
May
anybody
nature guide your
and
path.
you couldn't come up with things that you shared and both valued?
Yeah, but it would be overshadowed by the fact that one of them thought they were a cyborg.
Okay, I'm not saying there won't be things on the list, even with a schizophrenic. But don't you think there would be things that you both would agree on? And take the extreme off the list. Don't you think you could sit down with anybody and find things, any American, and find things that you both wanted?
Who was that little brat that was gonna fucking fight you? That brat, that kid, that girl.
You're coming up with the most extreme cases. I'm talking about somebody from Montana, Wyoming,
Well,
somebody from...
Hello.
Listen to you.
A
The prejudice of your own that you've just exhibited. I'm talking about a normal person from Wyoming. I mean, that's to you, that's normal.
No, I'm saying come up with... We have 336 million people in America.
I know, but a lot of...
99% of them, you could find a
Elwynn
common
adore.
base
Farewell.
that you could share with that person.
That's true. But you know what?
Good luck, friend.
Yes, it could start that way, but I don't know. I am, for some reason, maybe it's you, picturing that kid. What the fuck? That baby kid, that brat, that kid who was gonna, like, go outside and have a fight, and then she became a giant rapper.
Right? But what about her?
I don't like her.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't feel like, I mean, what would we start with? We're both protoplasms.
Okay, we could find 1 million people that you would have huge differences with. But what about the other 335 million people in America?
I want to get
How
them all
may I aid
greedy
you?
like that. I want everybody to love me. No. Yes, you can. Do I think there's a consensus of the majority who could be brought to a reasonable middle ground? I do, and it is
I'm trying to answer your question. You said, what do we do with the fringes on both sides? And I'm saying, well, aside from those fringes, the 99% of the people that aren't exercising the tyranny of the fringe have a basis that they can find some shared values.
It's not 90. Unfortunately, if it was 99%, we'd be better off. About a third of the country are super hard right. They used to be what we used to call Birchers, John Birch Society.
Yeah, but you've got the real friends that I'm really worried about that could do something really stupid.
I'm talking about on the left.
No, on the fringes on both sides.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like Trump will never lose like a third of the country. No, the farthest right caveman will never lose. So it's not 99% in the middle. And then on the other side, you know, there's just
Trump on the brain.
Trump on the brain, as we're in the middle of an election season where he's
You're the one with a cutout of him around the corner
it's
here.
a joke. Everything here is a joke. But
I know.
you know,
What
no,
now?
I don't have him on the brain because unlike I did on the other two elections, this time I'm saying I'm not even worried about it. You're gonna lose, so you might as well accept that now because it'll be easier when it happens.
Who's you?
The right.
Well, don't say you like you're personalizing it to me.
Oh, that's right. You're apolitical.
You have no idea. You have no idea how I vote or who I vote for or why.
I'd bet my house on it. This house that you covet so much.
Really? You would?
Yeah, I would.
You want to write that down?
Well, it's a private ballot. You shouldn't tell me, and you shouldn't have to tell me. I'm just saying, people can usually read between the lines, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad person at all. I mean,
It feels so much better now.
yeah, I know you do. That's my job, is to make you feel better. Because who's Dr. Phil's Dr. Phil? See, that's the
You.
thing.
I mean, I come to
You
you
know, it's
to
like
be validated.
It's like when Frank Sinatra was getting laid. Who did he put on the stereo? You know what I'm saying? Who fills the dentist cavity?
Yeah, you're my Dean Martin. I come to you.
Who's gonna shrink you?
You're my Dean Martin.
Me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
The higher you get, the better it is.
no, I want to know if you're happy. Are you happy?
I'm pretty happy.
You are.
Yeah, how about you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm not married. You know,
So
it's not a mystery why
so
I.
nobody knows you're happy. You're just happy with yourself.
I let a little bit leak out once in a while, but then I clean up right after.
Yeah.
No, boy, did you see all the freak stories in the news this week? Just today, I read about Matt Gaetz at parties with underage girls who were naked. He says a Haitian ate their clothes.
Anubelore Delana.
Kidding. Okay. But, okay, I remember about Matt Gaetz.
We will have
Did you read about the dude in New York? The COVID czar?
I did.
The COVID czar telling people to mask up and not move and hide under the bed until the forever flu went away was not just going out. I mean, it was a scandal here when Gavin Newsom went to a fancy French restaurant called the French Laundry. This guy went to sex parties. First of all, I want to see how good a sex party is for a COVID czar. Like, Puffy's sex parties, those people were hot. I mean, I'm not saying he was doing the right thing. He seems like a monster, but I'm guessing the people were hot. But I want to know who was at the COVID dude's sex party, because I just am picturing the nude beach, which is always, you know, you go and then it's like, boy, all the wrong people want to go to the nude beach. Yeah. What was my question?
I have no idea. I think this is so. I think you went off the rails right after Matt Gates.
Oh yeah, there was Matt Gates, the dude in North Carolina, the guy Mark Robinson running for governor, who was a denizen of porn shops and was on Nude Africa, this website, as governors do, Nude Africa and Black Nazi and watch girls in the locker room. Like he checked every single box. And
Go forth.
The COVID guy. So it looks like everybody's just doing freaky shit.
Not everybody.
Well, okay, that's a lot.
You had a pretty good day.
To go from the governor of...
You had a pretty normal day, right? You just went to work
yes.
and came back.
No, well, I had a normal day. I got up, lit the bong, had unprotected sex with a Haitian, burned the American flag,
Ate a cat.
then had my coffee, took fentanyl and went to work. Yeah, did the show and rushed here. Apologize for being late, but...
I appreciate you doing it.
Oh, no, this is a great way to spend it. What are you normally doing on a Friday night? Are you home?
Play tennis.
At night?
Yeah, I have lights.
Oh, I bet you do. But wait till all the people die and there's no one to fix them but the Haitians.
I know.
Then what are you gonna do? Play tennis in the dark?
No, I'll have a Haitian out there. Or
you'll be at the grill with the cats. Come on in, guys.
I'll have a college professor that got fired.
Cats on.
I'll have a college professor out there that got fired for not teaching his course.
Here's a hamburger. Who wants a dog? No, an actual dog. But do you have date nights?
We do. Yeah, we go out.
Oh, you always go out on a date night?
No, but sometimes we do. I mean, she likes to go out. We go out when we want to go out. We stay home. We do both.
Where do you go when you go out?
Depends on what city you're in. Last time we went out was Vegas. We went to.
Oh, Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had our anniversary, and so I had to do some stuff there.
Always good to fit in your anniversary with a working weekend.
Yeah, this is actually during the week, so.
Right. I mean, come on. What did she expect you to give up a Wednesday?
She likes Carrie Underwood, so we went to see Carrie Underwood. Hell of a great show.
Nice. Yeah.
Hell of a great show. And we like Carrie, we know her, and spent some time with her and saw the show.
Oh, you got her backstage?
Great show if you haven't seen it.
Oh.
If you haven't seen it, great show.
I'm guessing that worked out well at night.
Yeah, she, that was a good anniversary there.
Well, you know, you always have to approach the mind.
Yeah. Maybe we need to get you married. That's what we should do.
Well, I think that bus has sailed.
Think that ship has sailed?
Well, I mean, look, I get certainly people have done it after 68, but you know, it's just a sucker bet.
What kind of woman do you think you'd be attracted to?
The kind who doesn't want to get married.
Yeah.
I found one just like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, it's all about what I've learned after having lived so many years stupidly, is that the most important thing is, I mean, you can love a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons, but who's right for you? Who's right for you? And that's all about, like, just vibing in a way where, you know, all these things that strength, excuse me, are always telling us we need to put up with. Like, well, you're gonna have fights. You know, everyone has fights. It's just how you fight. I don't accept that. I don't want any fights. Ever.
No conflict.
No conflict, right.
So you're conflict avoidant?
If I can be. I mean, I'm not avoiding it, it's just not happening. And it should, you know, there's no reason why it should. If two people just accept each other,
Victory
and,
for Silva.
you know, you be you and I be me, and when you be me and I be me, and 1 + 2 = 3.
So what's the longest
I
you've
just
dated?
made that part up.
Yeah, I know. What's the longest you've dated somebody in the last couple of years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. And no conflict.
No conflict.
I have much to
I don't
offer.
allow conflict. I mean, I don't want, sometimes like a guy will like be naggy about something. I'm like, you know what? I don't do this with women. You think I'm going to do this with you? You think I'm going to do this with a guy? There's no naggy in my life. There's
Thank
no
you for
nagging, there's no
browsing.
pressure, and there's no jockeying, and none of that. So, like, no. I mean,
Looking
whatever
for
it is,
wares.
there's no reason to fight over it. Whatever you're asking me, if I could do or wanted to do, I would do. And if I can't, then just shut the fuck up. You know, I mean, it's just, it's, I don't know why people make life so complicated. And, I mean, Nikki Glazer, God love her, was here the other day, and I love her to death. But she was telling me about her relationship, and, like,
A fair
they see a therapist
exchange.
once a week.
Yeah, I know, Nikki.
You're the therapist.
No, I wouldn't have said that if I was.
Oh, she's the best, and I
She's
love her.
great.
And I love her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like going to a therapist once a week, or any doctor would be upsetting. But and just like a tune-up. I mean, does that make sense to you? That you need that much monitoring?
Yeah, I mean, if you do what works, man. I mean, if you've got somebody that is willing to do that,
but you need a ref. That you can't go more than 6 days without needing some other person to tell you when you're an asshole. I mean, I just don't think I can live under the sword of Damocles like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, I just want to live. I just want to, you know. I don't know.
So you do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Perfectly said.
And if you don't want to do it,
Exactly.
you don't do it.
That's right. What is that so hard to like? And you can do that, and it's okay to like, and I would say the same of everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why that's such a hard train to get on, but you know, I'm not one to talk because I certainly spent most of my life looking back, with you know, situations that it was dumb to be in for one reason or another. But that's life, you know. I was talking to Cheech here the other day, and he said something I so agree with about aging, and you know, he said, you see patterns. That's, if you want to know why older people are wiser, it's patterns, and it is. You see it the first time, and you've never seen it before, so it gets you. And then you see it the second time, and you're still stupid, it gets you again, but not as bad. By the third time it comes around, it's like, okay, I've seen this movie, and you're not going to get me this time.
Yeah, I have this thing I've done before, particularly with guys, but I call it a life ruler that I've used. I mean, I actually physically have this thing that I roll out. It goes from 0 to 80, which is kind of the life expectancy is less than that now for men. In America, it's less than 75 now. And if you start at 0 and you walk down and stand on your age and look over your shoulder at how much is behind you and how little is ahead of you, you really start to have the attitude that you've had for a long time. It's like, you know what? I don't have a lot ahead of me and a whole lot behind me. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it because, I mean,
Oh, you're making me want another drink.
yeah. I mean,
Really?
but think about it.
No, you're right. Oh, I do think about it, and you can't not think about it. And
The number of summers
Oh,
you have left,
I
you
know.
can count on your
I
two
know.
hands, and you're not sure how many of those are going to be quality. You kind of don't want to waste any time doing shit you don't want to do.
and that's a life ruler.
Yeah. And what made me think about it is, yeah, I've been a pilot all my life, and the one thing you can't use is runway behind you. That's of no value to you at all. It's only runway ahead of you.
Right.
And,
It's a very good analogy.
yeah,
Right. That's of no use. It's there.
it's
of
there,
no
but
use.
it is of no use to you. Runway behind you, no use. Only what
Right.
you got ahead of you.
No, that's right.
And what you got ahead of you is what, if life expectancy is right,
Yeah, but do you think AI might swoop in at the last minute and, there'll be people of our generation who'll be the first ones to live forever?
I'm guessing not.
Well, that was not the answer I hoped for.
I'm guessing not.
I'm guessing not too, but it's possible, right?
Yeah, it's always possible.
Because these things advance exponentially, things like AI.
Yeah.
And both for good and evil, we don't know. It could be very evil. We could live forever, but under our overlords, the cyborg, like your friend.
Yeah, but would you get
All
tired of
paths
you?
begin in the dream. May your
I've asked that question of myself before. Like, what if they did cure aging and I was like 1200?
How are you?
Would I still like be
Have a
doing
good
the
one.
puzzle?
Safe travels.
Like, would that still amuse me after 1200 years
Yeah.
of doing the crossword puzzle? Or would I be on to something
Ours
else?
is a solemn
Like, after
burden.
1200 years, would somebody come in
Aspects
and
watch
go,
over you.
Bill, try Wordle.
Honor
It's been
all
1200 years.
dragons.
Or would I be, like, really good at it?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dragon
I don't
Isles.
know. But it's, it's sobering
Guard against
to anytime you feel the breath of mortality on the back of your neck.
Yeah. I mean, does that cause you to feel any sense of urgency?
No, I go to the bathroom pretty regularly.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly what I meant, but
I know, but you're a doctor, you understand. No, I feel like you can't rush because then you'll ruin it anyway. And life goes by so fast. I mean, the fact that we're almost into, well, I guess the fall is tomorrow. Okay, so we're into the fall, which basically is the end of the year. I mean, once you get into the fall, it's already Christmas.
If you're after
they might as well put
goods,
up Santa
I have
tomorrow, and I'm sure
plenty.
they're doing it in place.
No
And somehow
goods.
another year is shot. But the other side of it is, these are the good years. Because
I'll
you're
have more for
comfortable in
you
your
when
own
next
skin.
we meet.
and that's what I mean. That's what I say about our presidential election. Yeah, this, that, the other. But really, you and I, at the age we are, pretty healthy.
Right,
Minds are working.
right.
Got pretty good lives.
Minds are working and we're working.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it. People retire
Sorry.
and you don't have a purpose.
I wondered
There
if
are
I'd
people
recognize
our
you in
age-
your
Most
visage.
people our age are retired.
Somehow I just
Absolutely.
knew it was
And-
you.
I felt
I
the
mean,
same
It's
sensation.
like,
Your visage suits you well,
think
my
we got
friend.
It does,
Very
doesn't
good.
it?
Oh,
Evissian
I
said to look
think about it every
inside
day.
and let the
'Cause you
magic
love what you
within
do.
Love what I
express
do.
how I
I can- I mean,
wanted
you
to
can-
be
I
seen.
know these things.
I love
I guess
this.
the old
I
dragon's
know
right
these things,
after
and I watch
all.
what you
His
do.
visage
You love,
is
you
that
love
of
what you
a
do,
Tauren,
and
correct?
it's not worked. You,
But
if
it
you're,
seems
if you're ever
many dragons
fortunate
take the
enough
form of
that
elves.
your avocation and
I
vocation are the
confess I
same
am
thing,
still learning the
man,
difference
and you
between
get
them.
paid
I
for
hear
it.
some
Yeah,
dragons
the
even
worst
choose to look
job
like
in entertainment
gnomes.
is
Whatever
better
that is.
than the
Rathian
best
could not
job
tell me
outside
why
of
our
entertainment.
visages are so
I mean, when you start
distinctive.
looking at the money, it's
Perhaps
crazy.
ours
Let's
were
not give
meant
people a complete
for a
misimpression. It
different
is.
purpose.
There is
All I
work
know
in
is
the
that I
sense of,
like what I see
when I have time
in
off,
myself
I need time off
and
because
in
as much
you.
as I do enjoy my work, it is work, and I don't always feel like doing the parts of it I have to do in order to put on the product I want to put on Friday night. But I make myself do it. But there are times when I'd rather be watching the game or masturbating or something. No.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm very visual, so that was traumatic for me.
What? Why
but-
can't I don't understand that. Everybody masturbates, and it's the most normal thing in the world when we talk about it clinically. But somehow, like in life, like nobody ever goes, dinner, honey, I'm masturbating. I'll be down in a minute. You know, and somehow it's a shameful thing, and it's not.
I didn't say it was shameful. I just said I
I'm
was
just-
visual,
well,
and I didn't
I
need
know,
that
but it
image.
stopped you in your tracks, and
But-
it's just like that's what I might be doing if I wasn't working, but I don't. I put down the penis, I put down the remote, and I do my work. So I'm just saying, yes, we love our work, but sometimes it is just work, and it's also very taxing, and it takes a lot out of me. You know, it takes a lot out of just the pot smoking.
There's a
I
lot
mean,
of-
the energy, please.
There's a lot of prep that goes into it that
A
people
lot.
don't see. My mother
Not
asked me one
this,
time.
plainly, but the
Yeah,
other
clearly.
one, yes.
My mother asked me one time, in dead seriousness, she said, "Philip, what do you do the other 23 hours of the day?" Because, I mean, she'd watch me from 4 to 5 and said, "What do you do the other 23 hours of the day?"
That's precious.
And I said, "Well, you know,
Yeah.
I've got to drive over there."
Yeah, I got it.
You know, it's like, she doesn't understand I get a
Yeah, you got your
50 page
push-ups in
book,
the morning. Yeah. it's everything.
But I was thinking, I told you I was in Arizona the other day, and it was seriously 114 degrees at one point. I was out with the sheriff out in the desert in his car, and it was the furthest we were from our base of operations, and the air conditioner breaks in his car. And we've got to drive back 40 minutes, 114, no air conditioning. And I'm thinking, glamorous life of a TV star. You know, here we're out in this desert, just melting. It's horrible. And
Well,
you say,
you run your ass around the country way more than I do.
yeah. Well, I know you go to all these places.
I do stand up, but I'm stopping after this year, at least for next year. I might go back to it, but I'm going to at least take next year off.
Really?
Yeah. And even now, I mean, and for the last many years, I do like,
We will not
you know, I would say
repeat our
40
history.
to 50 dates a year, which is it's considerable. But it's
Come
not like
see me
Leno.
again.
It's like it's like every other weekend, just for 2 days. It's not a lot. But you, I feel like,
I'm really
you
upset
like to get
Southwest
in your-
Airlines you quit doing your stand-up.
What's it?
I'm really upset Southwest Airlines you stopped doing your stand-up.
My
West
wares were
Airlines,
made
you
with
adorable.
knowledge.
I was on, my plane broke. I almost called you, because you were like, if you ever need a plane, I should have called you.
I told you.
I know. Anyway, so we went back on Sun Air, and I look at that. I've never seen you make that face. So, I'm sorry. Get a medic in here. Sorry, did I upset you with the thought
Well,
of
I just-
flying with the common people, sire?
No, I just think of
We have been scattered so
the
long.
experience of the pilots on some of these
Well,
secondary
okay.
airlines is not the best.
So I'm expecting to go on a private plane, and we wind up on Sun Air. I gotta tell you, and this is in your alley, I wish I'd done more of this in my life. But again, it's good to be older, you're smarter about things. I just made up my mind, before we even left the private airport, I'm just gonna embrace this. I could, like, be a little bitch about it. But it's like, you know what? I never even flew first class till I was 37. I mean, I grew up, I was poor a lot in my 20s. Like 18 to 27, I was poor. And so I don't feel bad about the plane. And I was like, you know what? I'm so lucky I get to do that. And it came out in the wash that I could. But let's use this as a learning experience. And boy, was it. And they were so nice. Sun Air. Thank you, Sun Air. You got me home. But, like, what people put up with, it's good to be reminded. Like, first of all, the COVID thing. No, I was the COVID skeptic of all time to begin with. But, like, now, it tripled that. Because the idea that we locked down the whole country, everybody had to wear a mask everywhere, and and yet, on the plane,